I wanted to do some like performative lectures, and I wanted to film the audience while I talked to like get used to doing that. So who am I not allowed to kind of film haphazardly and surreptitiously? Like just like okay, all right, cool. See, that works. Or you can just like cough, and I'll like kind of move my body, the camera, in the opposite direction of where I coughed. All right. That's probably the carpet, but fair is fair. On your image. So this is a painting from 2007, and I made a whole lot of paintings like this. It's acrylic. It's what is it? It's like acrylic paint on a sheet of mylar that's been placed under a stencil. It's really long and boring, but the thing about it is it has these kind of nodes, and it has to be held up with pins, and there are little slash marks in it that like get closed as it gets pinned to the wall. So it starts out, the object has like no real integrity in and of itself. It's like a completely limp thing, and then it moves into this like what I was thinking of is like a realm of like tension or arousal or something as it's like pinned up on the wall. And I don't know, a lot of reasons. I was on mushrooms at the Met like 5 years ago, and that's when I decided that was what I was going to make. And this is a shirt that I made for my friend last spring, and it says, well, it's a quote from this Miles Davis interview on 60 Minutes where Mike Wallace is like really, no, it's Mike Wallace or Morley Safer, one of those guys. One of the old white guys on 60 Minutes is really like trying to bait Miles Davis, and he's like, tell me about like the blues and like slavery and like the blues, and eventually Miles Davis just like quits talking to him and watches a boxing match. But before he does that, he's like, look man, I've never suffered and I don't intend to ever suffer. So I really one of my favorite modes of expression in contemporary society is the obnoxious t-shirt, and I was always looking for the most obnoxious thing to put on the most obnoxious t-shirt. And you can buy one of these if you want. They're hand painted, so they're like $60.
T-shirts made or just the prints?
Oh, sorry, good question. No, the t-shirts. You can't get a print. I guess you could buy a print, but yeah, it's a t-shirt. They come in.
Where do the t-shirts come from?
Like I'll make it in my apartment or in my studio or something.
Well, I mean the fabric and stuff like that.
Like that place on George Street has like the shitty t-shirts. Okay, next slide. So these were all the things. This was the one in that picture to orient you, and these are all the ones I made over the course of like 4.5 years this way, and they're basically in chronological order, and I guess they're basically to scale, but not really. And a lot of these are destroyed, and some of these some really nice people own. So it's nice, I guess, since I was making objects that depended so much on the conditions and the specific conditions of the installation to even exist. It was nice because it opened up like a photography problem and could make a document that sort of stood for them. So that's what this is. And this is, I wish I had a bigger picture of this, but I really like this one not because it like turned out that good, but it's the only one that has a really good title. It's called I Spit on Your Grave, which is this, it's a movie that Abel Ferrara made in like the early 80s, and it's one of the best like feminist slasher movies ever, about like a bourgeois academic who's on a retreat in the woods, and she's horribly gang raped by these rednecks in like a glade with all these really tall trees, and but then she like just fucking murders them afterwards. I sure hope so. It's really good. She the ringleader, she like castrates him she seduces him and castrates him in a warm bathtub, and it's like just one take, and it's even most women say that scene is even harder to watch than the rape scene, but you know, it's also funnier because fuck that guy. But anyway, I thought that was, you know, and anyway, since like I had all these and they were kind of modular, I thought it was a good like one thing I liked, it was really tall, and it had like a kind of, to me it had what was going to hopefully be like kind of a icky, toxic like jouissance, but also I really liked the idea of all these different things like coming together, like that pack of rapists who are like discovering an identity that they wouldn't have had like the appetite to realize like on their own, and then, you know, they try and like leave and find like some kind of like authentic innocence later in the movie, but I mean, it like doesn't exist, and that's why they get mowed down. So anyway, maybe that doesn't make sense. That's weird. Okay. Then on a brighter, and then this is what I did when I was artist in residence at Francis Scott Key Middle School in Bedford-Stuyvesant, and we had to paint. I got these really rambunctious 12-year-olds to paint like 25 5 by 5 foot murals, and I added up how many square feet that was, and it's a whole lot of square feet. But anyway, they painted all these murals about sports and education and academia, and that was really fun because I had to like I had to completely, it was so hard that I had to totally like liquidate my practice and just come up with like dozens and dozens of like little movie moves that I could teach to someone who didn't really want to learn them, and then like turn them loose on these things so that they were, you know, painted like 5 minutes at a time by like a swarm of arguing children. And I think everyone learned a lot and had a very positive art experience. Yeah, I couldn't get any, none of them were really tall enough to hold it up, so I had to, different ones took the pictures, but yeah. And I don't know, I guess I also used like a kind of like Y-shaped thing with 2 hands on it apparently, because I have 3 hands in all these photographs. Maybe I just, there's some other second hands. Okay, well. Oh, that's good. And then this is this book I made that, oh, I don't know. I don't care what it says. But this was originally a book, and I forced this kid to draw all the letters for me, and then I painted them in with gouache, and then I like folded it up into a single book thing, because, you know, if I had to be there every day, I was going to make the kids make me art. Or make my art for me. That's that.